Today we are honored to have the founder of Essential Oil Wizardry today, Dr. Nick Berry. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Anthony. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. As I was saying before the show, I've been using the oils for a long time, and it's got so many benefits out of them. I just want to share that with more people today. How's that sound?
That sounds wonderful. Do you have any favorite oils that you've been enjoying recently, Anthony?
Yeah, so I have a forest across the street, and there's tend to be a lot of bugs. So I use that bug repellent you have. I'm not remembering the name, but it's a
Bug repel.
right, yeah, and it's been super helpful for me because it smells really good, kind of like foresty and all that. So like it's a great alternative to all the chemicals out there. That's what I've been using very recently.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm curious myself, like, how did you get into all this, like natural healing, essential oils? What was the spark for you that kind of got you into all this?
Yeah, so I've been passionate about health and well-being since I was a teenager. My original spark into health came through the lens of being fascinated by the effect of drugs and pharmaceuticals on the human body. So when I was a teenager, I got really clear that I wanted to become a pharmacist, and that was my career path. After I graduated pharmacy school, I started doing consulting at cannabis clinics. I was always fascinated by the cannabis plant and different psychedelic medications, and I realized that at the time when I graduated pharmacy school that cannabis was widely used and abused, and I felt that a pharmacist had an opportunity to add to some legitimacy while also helping the patients get the best effects with their usage, while also minimizing side effect profiles of their use of cannabis. And so when I started consulting at cannabis clinics and doing research on the plant, that's when I found out about the world of terpenes. Terpenes are aromatic molecules that are responsible for flavor and fragrance, and they're found in all types of plants. And they're very rich, found inside the cannabis plant. And when I learned that essential oils are concentrated plant terpenes, that's when my world of passion for essential oils opened up.
Awesome. That's very interesting. So sounds like the cannabis industry was kind of a spark for you, and then getting all into these oils with the science. Yeah, that's awesome because it's kind of similar to me. Like I was really science driven, and that's how I kind of got into that. And then of course like using it myself and firsthand experience. And there's nothing really like it.
Absolutely. Yeah, the oils are very powerful. And as I've continued to grow and evolve, I realized that less is more with the oils, and that the oils have such a signature and potency that even diluting it at 10 to 20% of many of the different oils will give you a potent therapeutic response.
Absolutely. Like in terms of potency, like how does that happen? Because I know essential oil is like one drop is like it's extremely potent. Like how does that happen? Is it like do they get concentrated? All that.
Yeah, so I could give you an example of peppermint essential oil. One drop of peppermint essential oil contains the same constituents as approximately 19 cups of peppermint tea steeped for 15 minutes. So there's a lot of potency in a single drop of peppermint essential oil. So the process of extraction for the essential oils is typically a steam distillation. So an individual who's running an extraction will put the plant material into a tank and put some water into the tank, heat up the water, and the either the steam or boiling water in the plant material will start carrying out the aromatic compounds through the steam. This is a closed loop system where the tank with the water that's turning into a vapor will connect into another tank that is going to pass through a condenser. Around this condenser is going to have a cooling mechanism. So you take the hot steam, and that's going to cool the steam into a liquid where it's going to recondense into this other tank. And that's going to produce the essential oil and the hydrosol. And the hydrosol is the byproduct of the essential oil distillation process. And so this is the process of collecting these terpenes and very small concentration of aromatic plant constituents that are volatile, known as essential oils, and concentrating them through the steam distillation process.
Awesome. Yeah. In terms of like the processes to make essential oils, is there different types of processing? Is there some that are optimal, some that you don't want to do? What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. So there's different extraction processes that are used in the world of essential oils. The most common, I like to break them up in three different parts. You have your steam distillation, your CO2 extracts, and your solvent extracts. Now, the solvent extracts tend to use nonpolar solvents that are less than ideal for therapeutic application because you may have micro amounts of nasty solvent residual in the microparticulate range. Now, these solvent extracted absolutes also produce very, very beautiful, potent, concentrated, beautiful extracts. Examples of this would be jasmine absolute or rose absolute, tuberose absolute. So there's many beautiful flowers that are very delicate, and if they're heated, they tend to lose their aromatic constituents. Their aromatic constituents tend to break down. And so using a solvent extracted absolute process for your final product is going to give a very beautiful perfume ready final extraction. The CO2 extraction yields a very potent extraction method. It's a very clean extraction method because when you're running the liquid CO2 through the plant material and the extraction completes and you return back to normal temperatures and pressures, the CO2 in the extraction is going to completely leave out of the final product because CO2 is a gas at room temperature in normal pressures. And so CO2 extracts tend to be more concentrated and potent compared to traditional steam distilled essential oils. And I tend to find that they're a little bit more rich and aromatic and tend to have more layers of aromatic complexity. The most common traditional essential oil on the market is a steam distilled essential oil. And that is from the process that I described initially during your last question, Anthony.
Awesome. So we got the processes down. Is there like, do you have a favorite one that, or is there like, when you go to certain oils, like for like specific goals, does certain processing methods get required for that? Or is it not really matter? How does that work?
Great question. So they all carry different energetic and aromatic qualities. So for instance, we have a nutmeg that is steam distilled, a CO2 extracted nutmeg, and a nutmeg absolute. And the nutmeg the steam distilled nutmeg is light and the aromatic quality is almost etheric, and it's really great for muscle tension and for body massages. The CO2 extract is a little bit more intense and robust with its aromatic, spicy quality. And when you massage with the nutmeg oil, it's very warming and very potent for a massage agent. So it's a lot stronger than the steam distilled nutmeg. Now, the nutmeg absolute is really a perfume ingredient, and it adds a layer of spice and complexity that is so gorgeous in botanical perfumery. So as you can see, all these different extraction methods will yield different types of products. And so the real question is, what is your intention for the blend that you are formulating? As someone who loves to create signature scents and custom blends for individuals and brands, I'm interested in setting the intention for what it is that we want to create. Now, if we were going for a botanical perfume that someone is going to be wearing, or a signature scent, a nutmeg absolute and or a CO2 extract may be more robust and complex for the final product. Now, if I wanted something that was lighter and a little bit more heady, I might go with the steam distilled nutmeg oil.
That makes sense for sure. So one thing I've like heard again and again about essential oils is like the history kind of goes way back, and then like the processing methods weren't like up to par as they are now. Is that true? Like, what is the history of essential oils? Like, how far does this go back?
Well, I think there's different stories in terms of the history of essential oils. I've heard of a philosopher in the 8th or 9th century named Avicenna. And this philosopher was really given the appreciation for his distillation of rose oil. And with this process, I'm not clear whether he did a true steam distillation and collected the rose oil, or whether he was collecting the rose hydrosol, which has some rose oil in it, and or if he created a pure essential oil of rose. Over the past few decades, there have been other extractions of various types of plants. And there was another man who was credited with discovering the therapeutic powers of lavender essential oil after he had burned himself in the lab. And when he was looking for a remedy, his intuition pointed out to apply some of the lavender essential oil, and it really helped to minimize the burn.
Awesome. One thing I really heard is like they were found like in Egyptian tombs. Is that how it went?
Um, I can't confirm. I've heard that there's extracts and violet glass that have been found in different tombs, and including blue lotus extracts. And I can't confirm or deny the legitimacy of that, but I do believe that the essential oils have been revered in cultures far before ours, and have been used and appreciated by Egyptian cultures and additional cultures around the world.
Awesome. So when it comes to like the benefits of essential oils, like why would people want to start using these? Like in terms of alternative health, like if people are skeptical, like how do they just get started and like start experiencing the benefits of these?
Yeah, so essential oils contain these pharmacologically active constituents that are active at very low concentrations in the body. And so an example of that would be oregano oil. Oregano oil is an extremely potent therapeutic essential oil, which should be used with great caution and care. When I first was diving into the world of essential oils, oregano is one that came into my life very strong, and it helped to refine the potency of essential oils in my life. And the quick story on that is a year after I had, I guess it was about 3 years after I had graduated pharmacy school, I was ill with pneumonia. And I had gotten yearly bouts of pneumonia for about 3 years at this time. And at the very moment that I started having this idea that I needed to go get medical care, I looked across the room and I saw a essential oil vaporizer and a bottle of oil of oregano. And what I was learning through my own research, flipping through different research articles on PubMed.gov, is I learned that there's a constituent found inside oregano called carvacrol. And carvacrol is extremely antimicrobial, said to be antiviral and antifungal as well. And this molecule was effective against methicillin-resistant Staph aureus, or MRSA, at very low concentrations. At this time, in my career, I was aware that MRSA was a very difficult bacteria to conquer that often is found in hospital infections. And in this moment, I said to myself, if MRSA can kill these hospital infections, it could probably kill whatever's growing in my lungs. And I knew there was a risk associated with this because oil of oregano is very caustic and irritating, both to the skin and to the mucous membranes. So what I did, because of the intensity of the symptoms that I was experiencing, I felt that I had nothing to lose because I was actually concerned for my life with my inability to breathe at this point. So I put a drop of oil of oregano into my essential oil vaporizer. I heated up the oil and I breathed it into my lungs because the infection was directly in my lungs. And I felt that if I was to get this immune modulating material into my lungs, that it may help to kill the bacteria responsible for the pneumonia. So I heated it up, breathed it into my lungs, and I started coughing. And this was a very intense coughing bit that I experienced that lasted between about 3 to 5 minutes after every inhalation. And it significantly improved the course of my experience. And I was about 60 to 70% back to my baseline within about 48 hours. And this was a marked different course compared to the 2 years prior when I had used traditional pharmaceutical remedies to treat the respiratory infections that I had had. And so this was the defining point that really expressed to me what the potency of the plants are and the healing powers of the essential oils with conscientious use. And so developing a relationship with the oils, an individual can help to support their immune system function. Essential oils like peppermint or oregano, clove, cinnamon, eucalyptus, thyme, all of these are powerful immune modulators with different mechanisms of action. Our company, Essential Oil Wizardry, produces very powerful blends that are targeted. And so an example of a immune formulation would be our immunity oil or our super immune boost tincture. And each of these are very concentrated and ready for the end user to use to help support their immune function and to help with any respiratory, or how should I say this? They help to modulate the immune function, and if there's any bacteria or fungus that is stimulating the body, it can help to build your body's defenses.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, oregano oil is super powerful. I've used that before as well. So when it comes to the different methods of using essential oils, like aromatically, topically, or ingestion, like how does that work, and how can we start to use those for certain purposes?
Yeah, so topical is a great way to start in working with the essential oils. I feel like topical or aromatic usage. So an example of using traditional aromatherapy, you can take a pure essential oil and you can put a few drops into your diffuser at home. And this is a way that an individual can passively promote the essential oil vapors into their environment to elicit different beneficial responses. And so examples of this could be cardamom or caraway or rosemary or basil if an individual is researching or studying or writing on their computer. If an individual is wanting more calmness and wanting to settle down for the evening, a few drops of Roman chamomile or lavender or sweet marjoram can be helpful for calming the nervous system down and transitioning into sleep. Applying the oils topically is a great way of utilizing essential oils for a more targeted purpose in a local region. So to work with the oils systemically, a great way to apply the oils topically is to take a few drops of your favorite essential oil. Let's say we want to get really grounded and into our physical body. I might use our root essential oil blend and or our vetiver, and take a few drops and massage that into the bottom of the feet. The bottom of the feet, the pores are large enough that the small aromatic molecules can enter in through our feet into the bloodstream in about 5 to 15 minutes, where they become bioactive. And so this is a great way of working with the oils topically to elicit a systemic response. In regards to working with essential oils through ingestion, I'm somewhat of a middle path kind of individual, because there's an ongoing controversy around the safety of ingesting essential oils. And so I think it's important for an individual to tune into what's right for their own body type. We've crafted what we determine to be a middle path in terms of safety and support for using the essential oils internally. And that is with our Wizard Alchemy tinctures. And so our essential oil tinctures are infused in a high proof alcohol that allows you to take a small concentration of essential oil in every drop. And so typically a single drop of essential oil coming out of a bottle of a pure essential oil, most dropper caps, you're going to get about 40 to 60-ish milligrams. Now, utilizing our essential oil tinctures, if you take a single drop, it's typically about 25 to 40 milligrams. And you're looking at about, for our formulations, typically about 10 to 20% essential oil infused in organic alcohol. So I would average about 2 to 5-ish milligrams per drop rather than 40 to 60 milligrams per drop. So a pure essential oil is so potent and concentrated that I perceive there's an initial shock if you're putting it directly into your body, where the body needs to um, process the amount of information that that single drop of essential oil has before it recognizes that they're beneficial molecules and it sends it to different places in the body. By diluting it, there's less of an initial shock and your body is more able to readily utilize the benefits of the essential oil. So this is my perception of working with ingesting essential oils is less can be more. A pure essential oil is very, very potent, and a single drop is more than what a person's body needs. I would rather use a smaller concentration and utilize it more often because the essential oil clears through the body typically in about an hour.
Definitely. Yeah, because with the ingestion, like I've heard a lot of mixed things as well. I personally do it sometimes. Like, isn't there like a certain methods like encapsulation, things like that that make it more safer, or certain oils?
Sure. So, an example of something that I like to do if I'm choosing to ingest an essential oil. Let's say I have a stomach upset and I want to ingest some of my digestive formula. I can either use my digestive tincture, a single drop of that, which is ready to go for the end user, or I could take a drop of that digestive formula and apply it into a teaspoon of honey. I can mix the drop into the honey and then I can either put that into a beverage or directly into my mouth. Honey is a great way of diffusing the essential oil and allowing the concentration to be much more readily absorbed by the body. Another strategy can be, Anthony, diluting it to your preferred concentration and getting about 1 to 2 drops into a capsule that is already diluted in an oil. And you can fill up capsules with your chosen oil, such as MCT or coconut oil, olive oil, and then you can close the capsule and ingest those. So that would be another mechanism of working with essential oils internally.
That makes sense. Yeah, I didn't know that thing about honey. It actually makes it more available. How does that work?
Well, it puts it into a rich sugar base with other vitamins and nutrition that the honey contains. And the essential oil is very soluble in the honey. And so it just seems to really be readily absorbed into the body and into the cells when combined with the honey.
Interesting. Yeah, because I know like in terms of nutrition, you get like biopotentiators and things that make it more synergistic with the body, like definitely like whole foods and all that. So like vitamin C would be an example, and then of course not honey for essential oil. So that's pretty cool. All right, so I know at Essential Oil Wizardry, like you are super adamant on quality, and so how does that play a role in like the outcome of that people get, and like what is your process like? Because I admire it a lot.
Well, thank you, Anthony. So I've been very fortunate, and my mentor was in the field for about 19 years before I got started into the world of essential oils. And my mentor, he was very successful through the company Eden Botanicals, and he sold that. Gosh, it's probably been a little over a decade ago. And my mentor really gave me a lot of good guidance about how to source essential oils, lots of different contacts to source the oils from. So he had already established multiple decades of relationships that I got to continue to foster and nurture. And so sourcing essential oils directly from the origin in which they're extracted is a great way of supporting international communities that are making high quality medicine. And sourcing the essential oils is really the first aspect of what makes essential oil wizardry's quality so unique and special. So starting with I would say that approximately 90-95% of our products are, we either source them as organic or wild crafted. The ones that don't fall into the specification are personally vetted by myself, and I find that they have amazing potency, beauty, and my senses just really receive the information and the cleanliness of the product. Many of our extracts come with lab testing as well. And like I said, the having these vendors, suppliers, artisan extractors, distillers that have been in these fields, some of them for almost 100 years, have been creating different botanical extract products or working as farmers and are continuing their family's legacy. And so it's, I feel very privileged to have these relationships that my mentor originally developed. And utilizing these as a starting material, that's where essential oil wizardry's base products are. So when we receive the essential oils, CO2 extracts, or floral absolutes, we use a number of different processes to enhance the vibratory qualities of our essential oil products. And so we use different technologies such as the arc crystal, and we'll take the different essential oil products and we'll sit them under the arc crystal, and that seems to really enhance the aromatic quality. We'll take our different essential oils and we'll vibrate them in our set of 432 hertz crystal bowls using different notes for each of the different blends and formulations that we have. We use biogeometry to really activate the the potency of the individual oils and our blends and formulations. We also tune our oils using different types of frequencies and energies. And so our processes really are an artisanal expression of taking these premium quality essential oil extracts in and adding in our own artistic flavor using various types of technologies and energies to enhance the expression of the individual oils. And that is what makes our company so unique.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, what is biogeometry exactly?
Biogeometry is a field of research by Dr. Ibrahim Karim. And biogeometry studies the energetic signatures of sacred sites around the world and has broken down into a science about the type of energy qualities which are found in these different types of sacred sites and how to apply different principles to adjust the energetic signatures of food, water, locations of land, using these principles to harmonize and create a more coherent energy field in locations. biogeometry has done research all over the world in different fields, including agriculture, including mitigating EMF pollution hired by different countries in this world. So they have a very diverse range of therapeutic application using the research that Dr. Ibrahim Karim has crafted.
Awesome. Do you notice like a difference between like when it's not used? Is it something you can actually notice, or how does that experienced exactly?
I would say a great majority of individuals who come into our lab who do a before and after through a majority of the different activation steps that we have to activate the potency of our ingredients will notice a difference in the aromatic qualities before and after. So the biogeometry, for instance, when I'm applying some of the different tools that they have available to the public, I notice a crisper, sharper, more refined, and higher peak of intensity for the various aromatic constituents in the blend.
Awesome. So when it comes to quality as well, because I know there's like if you go to like a convenience store, uh, isn't it possible that it may not actually be essential oils? They're just kind of labeling it as that due to like regulation.
There is definitely a concern for mislabeling and yeah, this industry has a lot of unfortunate mislabeling when it comes to the products that are on the shelf. So this term is known as adulteration. And so sometimes there's pure essential oils which are adulterated with synthetic compounds, and or sometimes a product can be labeled an essential oil and be a synthetic compound. I tend to see that more often with really expensive flowers, for instance, like Blue Lotus. A majority of the Blue Lotus extract or Blue Lotus oil, quote unquote, that's on the market is actually a synthetic compound, and it's not actually a true Blue Lotus extract. And um, being someone who sources Blue Lotus, authentic Blue Lotus Absolute, I'm able to see that because the price is way too low. I know where it comes from, and I'm seeing that the prices are below what I'm paying for it, and that's what it's being resold as. And so there is a lot of adulteration, especially in terms of the more precious, rare, and expensive aromatic extracts. Examples of this would be rose or jasmine, sandalwood, tuberose, blue lotus, pink lotus, agarwood. Lots of these different extracts. There's a lot of adulteration. And so going with a source that you resonate with and trust, especially for some of the more expensive, rare and exotic plants is likely a good move, because you'll probably waste your money on purchasing something that is fake and actually toxic for your body.
Yeah, because like when people try essential oils, like sometimes they're not getting the right stuff, and then they kind of don't use them anymore because they don't think they work, but they're not actually getting like high quality essential oils. So yeah, it's very important to get like good quality sourcing. You know, like make sure you do your research, because like even if you like go to a Whole Foods, it may not be the best. Is that right?
Um, I'm not certain what Whole Foods stocks in terms of brands, and so I would just say in general, be very cognizant of what you're purchasing, where you're purchasing from. You're always going to want a pure essential oil. you're going to want to source it or from organic plant material or wild crafted. And you want to make sure it's from a brand that you trust, that the product isn't going to be adulterated with anything synthetic. So you know what you're putting on your body, or can really verify what the effects are that you're receiving from your relationship with the oils.
Absolutely. Because like personally, like when I use essential oils, I tend to feel it a lot. And I've had the experience of not, because I used to like just get some random oil, like not knowing what I was doing, and it's definitely a huge difference. So yeah, it's definitely and I didn't actually feel good on the other one. So it's really important to get a high quality sourcing.
I agree, Anthony, and I can actually piggyback on that and your previous question. I will say there's been many times in my life where I've experimented or experienced with kind of a generic brand of essential oil, and it lacked luster. It might have smelled kind of nice, and it was probably a relatively clean product, but it didn't have that artisanal touch or potency. And it didn't really do much more than smell like a clean lemon oil that might have put me a little bit in a better mood compared to something that's cleanly sourced and energized and really combined in a way with other plants, like our citrus blast essential oil, which uses a combination of organic blood orange, lemon, and lime. When I put that into a diffuser, it really just elevates my mood. It supports my immune function. It puts a smile on my face. And it's also really delicious when I combine a little bit into olive oil for my salads. So there's a big difference between kind of a generic quality essential oil that might just smell nice versus something that is really energetically activated and comes alive. And what you were sharing with me before we started talking on this podcast is you've just really noticed the potency of our products. And many people, when they find essential oil wizardry, they experience that there's something different and unique about our products. And I've shared with you all the different tools and techniques that we use to really take our essential oils to the next level.
Absolutely. I mean, it shows definitely. And another thing that I kind of want to talk about was, is there like certain conditions that maybe actually like the different types of diffusers? Because there's different types of diffusers like for certain purposes. And as far as I know, there's only two different types. Do I have that correct?
In regards to diffusers, there's different mechanisms of diffusing the oils. For instance, there's plates where you can heat the plate, and there's a candle underneath, and the oil will diffuse in the environment. And so this is an example of a diffusing method that is less favorable, because when you heat the oil, you tend to change the constituents associated with the original benefits. And so a better strategy is to get a diffuser which is going to either naturally aerate through a pumping process into the air. There's different diffusers that will use an ultrasonic frequency to aerate the water and the essential oil into a mist. And this is going to be one example of a diffuser which is preferential because you're not heating the oil, and so you're getting the original plant constituents in the vapor. Some essential oils will use water, others won't. So there's a lot of variations on the diffuser market, and I haven't looked at some of the I haven't looked recently at what's available on the market, but in general, one is going to want to use a diffuser that minimizes plastic parts because the essential oils can break down the plastic, and therefore some of those constituents can be volatilized, and you're not going to want to breathe that in. You're going to want a device that's going to be easier to clean, so less maintenance. And uh, I enjoy having a device that doesn't heat so that you're not destroying any of the aromatic molecules. And then you want to decide on the amount of power for the diffuser and the rate in which it's going to use the essential oils. The power is important based on how big your environment is that you want to diffuse the oils in. Is it a 20 by 20 room, or is it a 40 by 40 room? So these would take different diffuser strengths. So those are some of the variables to look for in diffusers. We've really enjoyed working with a company called Organic Aromas, and they are the ones that are designing and producing the diffusers that we use at Essential Oil Wizardry. And they're a great company with a lot of different options.
Awesome. Does it matter that much, like what the essential oils are in, like the container? Like, is it important to like have like a Myron glass? Like, how does that work?
So this question is really reflective on storage of essential oils. And so essential oils really tend to be relatively stable as a whole. Now, citrus oils might break down a little bit quicker compared to a majority of essential oils that are available on the market. But if you are storing your essential oils in a glass container away from excessive heat or light, oils will tend to hold their strength and therapeutic applications for 3 to 5 years. And that's a very general and broad statement. The quality of the glass can, Myron glass, which you were talking about, which our company is currently using, they make some amazing glass products. And the Myron, the color looks like black glass, and if you hold it up to a light, you'll see that it's purple. So sometimes the Myron glass is known as violet glass. And what's interesting about the Myron glass is it reflects damaging effects of sunlight, but it allows in the UV and the infrared spectrum. And I wasn't expecting this when we shifted our glass from cobalt blue and amber glass into Myron glass, but our oils actually enhanced in their aromatic qualities. I was very impressed with the way that the Myron glass really seems to magnify the energetic qualities and also the aromatic qualities. And so, bringing it back to your original question, the Myron glass really does seem to extend the shelf life and the potency of whatever essential oil is in the container.
Interesting. From what I've heard mixed things on this, but like in your experience, do essential oils expire? Like, or is there a shelf life? It sounds like there's a shelf life.
So it's been very rare that I've had oils that seem to go significantly off. And I'll usually apply oils to our biogeometry clearing trays, or I might put it on some orgonite and tune it with some frequency. And I find that in most cases, when they're stored correctly, they don't seem in most cases they don't seem to go off. And if I have an oil that's very old and it's not a very thick oil, lots of thicker oils such as vetiver or patchouli or sandalwood tend to aromatically get more complex with age, like a fine wine. But if I have an oil that I've had for maybe 5 or 7 years, and I pick it up and I say, "Oh, I haven't seen this oil for a long time. Let me smell it." Sometimes what I'll do is I'll just put it on a biogeometry clearing tray and use a few of my techniques, and it smells like the day I bought it, and or sometimes better. So it's I think what's important about the expiration date is if you're going to be utilizing them internally, then maybe you're going to want to have fresher oils. But if you're going to be using them for the aromatic qualities and you're using it topically or diffusing it in the environment, if it doesn't smell off, it likely shouldn't be an issue.
Okay, makes sense. Because yeah, I've had oils for a while and I've had the same experience that they don't really lose potency. There's why is that exactly? Like what in it in the oils like makes it so long lasting, like and so powerful like that?
So, oils that tend to go rancid um, carry these fatty acid chains, and it's these fatty acid chains which get oxidized, which tend to go off. In a sense, expire. And so, this is why lots of edible oils, such as peanut oil or olive oil, or name your favorite oils that you like to eat, can go rancid if you hold on to them for a few years. They might smell off. They might give you a stomach ache if you ingest it. These are rich in fatty acids, and as they age and get exposed to oxygen, they oxidize, and that's what turns the oil into something that's being rancid. The essential oils don't contain fatty acids. The essential oils contain volatile plant terpenes, and when they oxidize with time, sometimes they'll change their therapeutic potential. Sometimes it might be better, sometimes it might be less effective, but it's evolving its expression as opposed to turning into a rancid fatty oil.
Definitely, yeah. Kind of got me thinking like about carrier oils. Like, are carrier oils uh, necessary in certain instances and not other instances? Like, what are carrier oils in terms of essential oil use?
So we use carrier oils in a great majority of our blends. So our Wizard Alchemy blends are intended for the end user to be able to use it with ease without a need to dilute it, while also having the final product being very strong and potent. And so we tend to use organic fractionated coconut oil, which is sometimes known as MCT oil, as our primary carrier. And carriers, what they do is they help to, the carriers will help to absorb the essential oils. And because of the solubility of the oil into the skin, because the skin is made of fatty tissue, it's able to pull the essential oil in through the skin at a higher rate as opposed to having the essential oil evaporate on your skin. So it increases absorption of the essential oil into your body while also diluting the concentration, making it more safe. So from a therapeutic perspective and a safety perspective, diluting oils when applying topically is a powerful tool to have the awareness to do. Um, I've had many experiences where I've just used pure essential oils all over my body. And as I've aged and become more sensitive with my physiology, I've really tuned into the truth that less is more when it comes to essential oils. And also, I've been very fortunate to use really concentrated pure essential oils on my body and not have a significant reaction. However, sometimes applying pure essential oils on a person's body can elicit a severe irritation, or a person can break out in hives, or it could burn the body. So really engage with the essential oil with your own inner wisdom and do what's right for you. And if you know that you're an individual that has high levels of sensitivity, maybe utilizing the essential oil at a lower concentration in a small spot before you apply it to a larger portion of your body.
Definitely. With your company, I know you do like custom blends for people. Is that right?
Yeah, crafting custom blends for individuals and brands is definitely a joy of mine, Anthony.
Awesome. So if people want to do that, like, how does that work? Like, is it like they have like a specific purpose that they want, and then like you kind of go and craft that? How does that go?
Um, Developing custom formulations or signature scents is it's a very individualized process. And so some individuals have a goal that they want to bring a product to market, and they want it to be a sensual aromatic perfume. And they may or may not have some suggestions for different oils that they want to be in that formulation. And so my joy in crafting custom blends and signature scents for individuals and brands is to take a person's intention or vision for the product or project and help to actualize that. And so, you know, if an individual wants something because they have a lot of pain in their wrist or hands, I might suggest our PRI or our eSolution formula first. But if they want a custom formulation, then what I would do is I would assess, oh, what types of essential oils have anti-inflammatory qualities that are also analgesic, that might synergize well with one another. And this could be as hands-on or as full service as an individual wants. So it's a very personalized service, and it's definitely something that sparks joy for us at Essential Oil Wizardry.
Awesome. I was gonna say, if people, because like there's like a lot of oils out there, right? But then like having like a tailor-made purpose, I think that's really cool, because like I feel like with, especially these, like people will like have like a lot of things maybe working through, and oils are like a great way to pinpoint that. And then just having that where people can just go and do like a tailor-made thing, I think that's awesome. So I haven't really seen that.
Oh, thank you, Anthony. Yeah, it's what's nice about our company as well is that we've already created so many different very targeted formulations. We have our bug repel formula that we already spoke about. We have violet chill for relaxation, and we have in vigor for a little bit of energy. And we have a Respire formula for opening up the throat and the lungs. And so we have very targeted formulations that are already available, which don't carry the cost associated with a new product development. And also, it is an amazing service because sometimes there's a person with a vision or a specific need where we don't have the perfect thing already formulated, and we're able to help bring that to them together.
Awesome, man. Yeah. So we've talked about like the potency of the oils, history, the benefits, different uses, oils, and all that. Diffusers. Is there like anything else that is something you want to cover?
One way of getting started with us at Essential Oil Wizardry that's really fun and unique is our Alchemy Club. And so Essential Oil Wizardry has a monthly club option that really introduces a variety of different essential oil products to its community. So there's different tiers of this membership that range from a Wizard Alchemy blend every month to an assortment of a tincture, a perfume, a pure essential oil, and a blend every month. And so there's lots of options to get started for people. And it comes with education on how to use each of the products every month. And what I've seen over the years, which is really interesting and special, is when an individual has been engaged with our Alchemy Club for an extended period of time, and I'm talking about maybe 6 to 18 months, individuals really start expanding their horizons of what's possible in terms of making their own blends or applying certain products for their own health and well-being, or sharing them with their family. We've also had a number of Alchemy Club members over the years start their own business, from their own herbal apothecaries to making really epic kombuchas and bringing them to market. And it's always really inspirational to learn when that seed that was planted as an initial spark of joining a membership taught them so much about applying the wisdom of plants to their life that they gain in knowledge, expertise, and experimentation, and it ends up becoming a part of their organic lifestyle.
Definitely. Yeah, it sounds awesome. All right, Dr. Nick, this has been awesome. I would really love for you to tell us how we can connect with you and your company, because I know people are probably pretty interested in this at this point. So, like, what is the best way to connect with you?
Yeah, you can reach out. We're on Instagram and various social media platforms at Essential Oil Wizardry. And our website is essentialoilwizardry.com. And if anyone has any questions, our team is great about responding to questions via email at support@essentialoilwizardry.com. And for individuals who have deeper questions or want consultations, you can also send us an email and we can get back to you and schedule a time to meet. We do offer consultations for deeper discussions through our
Awesome.
website.
Definitely. I appreciate you coming on and sharing all your insights with us, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Anthony. Appreciate the opportunity.
Definitely.